So back in 1993, we got our first Sentra SCR. And the SCR originally had, a nice format where you had a 140 horsepower of an SR20 DE motor. Now we never got the DET motor that was in the S13 or S14, cars from Japan, but that's okay. The SR20 DE motor was a great motor, and it was a lot of fun. And back in the day, 140 horsepower wasn't all that bad, especially when most of your four-cylinder turbos weren't even pushing 200 horsepower yet. But when you really look at the SCR platform, it carried through. We progressed to 3 different body styles, and now all of a sudden it's gone. Now in 2017, we're graced with an SR turbo or a Nismo model. Now, the only unfortunate part there is we went from 200 horsepower out of an SCR Spec V down to 188 horsepower. And that's a little bit underpowered compared to a lot of its competition. So stick with me while we check out the all-new Nissan Sentra Nismo. So the starting price on a Sentra S is about $17,000. Now moving up to the SR Turbo takes it to about $22,000, or this Midnight Edition that comes in at about $22,500, which gives you these black 17-inch wheels, black mirrors, and a black spoiler for a cheap $500. Now moving up to the Nismo means forking out about $25,000 with a 6-speed manual or the CVT automatic with manual shift mode. So the Sentra SR Turbo and the Nismo start with a 1.6 liter direct injection engine, producing 188 horsepower at 5,600 RPM and 177 foot-pounds of torque at 5,200 RPM. Now combine that with a curb weight of about 3,000 pounds, and it's good for a 0 to 60 time of about 7 seconds. Now the Nismo body is actually its strongest point, I think. You have a different front and rear bumper cover with a rear diffuser. You have this nice LED strip of lights in the front, along with the red accents on the front, the rear, and the extended side moldings. You add in an 18-inch wheel riding on a 215 45 ZR18 Michelin Pilot sport tire. It's actually a little bit wider than the standard SR Turbo. And it's sporting new rear dampers, a sport tuning of the front struts, and electronically assisted power steering, which all covers the outside of what I think might be the best looking Sentra we've ever seen. So as you make your way to the interior, you have this real nice carbon fiber faux accent that runs around the cabin, as well as Alcantara on your door panels and Alcantara on your armrest with a nice red contrast stitching. You have these real nice Nismo seats with the logo in them, with the red on the bolsters and the red contrast stitching. And of course, they're manually adjustable. I did like you have a trunk release right on the dash. And you have your eco mode, your sport mode, and your traction control right there, along with your hood release or your bonnet release and your fuel door release. Now the premium package is about $1,200, which features a rather small 5.8-inch touchscreen with voice and mobile apps, voice recognition, a rear backup camera with blind spot warning, and a rear cross traffic alert. And you do have a single zone climate control, and you have this nice faux carbon fiber that runs around the center console with its red contrast. And you get either a 6-speed manual or the CVT with your heated seats. You have a real nice armrest that's padded with a aux or USB port. You have this real nice soft touch materials that run across the dash. And you have an available Bose premium audio system that comes with 8 speakers. And you have a nice glove box that's damped. Actually have some space in there, I thought. Downside is I thought it would have some LEDs, and instead you have just basic map lights with your sunglass container and a vanity mirror with no light.
Now, another downside is there is not an available sunroof for the Nismo model. You would have to get the SR Turbo if you wanted a sunroof. Now, all the materials carry over to the back, which is nice to see. You have your red contrast stitching there and your bottle holder. Now, as for room, I had the front seat adjusted for a 6-foot adult, and I had plenty of room, along with your pockets on the rear seats, some storage. Now, you did not have a center armrest. That was the downside. However, you do have a 60-40 split rear seat. And you have basic illumination. Now, getting a shot of the trunk is actually a lot of room for this class of car. It's probably one of the best I've seen. And you have your Nismo mats right there, and you have your donut spare if you need it. And as you can see, the seats do not fold flat, but that's not a deal breaker. So while the Nissan Sentra Nismo is not to be confused with the 370Z Nismo, or the peculiar looking Juke Nismo, how would you define the Sentra Nismo? I believe that question is answered differently by everyone who approaches the car. Now, I've heard words like underwhelming and too expensive. However, history shows that the Sentra was never built to be a tremendous performance car. It was more about the driving experience. And yes, there are many other performance models that are out there, including cars like a Buick LaCrosse, or a Ford Flex, or a 2017 Kia Soul Turbo, which would all be quicker cars and unexpected. However, a car is what you make of it. As long as you feel great driving it, then nothing else matters. Thanks for watching.